We're going to have a brief presentation, and then after the presentation there are 2 rooms set up already with videos or with cameras in there, and Andrew and Bill, our video production people, can help you if you feel comfortable and want to record an intro video today. We can help you with that, and then we can send it to you or upload it wherever you'd like. So if you want to stay afterwards and shoot your own video yourself, we are prepared for that. All right, well, thank you. So
those videos.
Huh? Oh yeah, so we'll start out with just a couple sample intro videos for you to watch.
My name is Andrew Poteet. Thank you for attending this e-learning cafe. I hope that your main takeaway from this session is the skills to create your own videos for your courses. But I hope your secondary takeaway from this session is that you had fun. Remember, the real e-learning cafe is the friends we made along the way.
All right. Way to go, Andrew. There's something wrong with that video. There's many things wrong with that video, so let's try it again.
Hey guys, welcome to eLearning Cafe. My name is Andrew Poteet. I hope you have fun during this session and come away learning some best practices that'll help you make some short videos, just like this one.
Better. A little bit better.
All right, so you obviously notice a lot of differences between those videos, but we'll make what some of the explicit differences are and what you should and shouldn't do. But first, let's talk about why even have an intro video at all. Well, for one of the reasons is your students aren't taking a spot course. They're taking an online course, which means that there is a facilitator and instructor behind the course. And while not all of your students care about you or whoever's facilitating it, a lot of them do. And they want to know who is behind that, and they want to feel like part of a class. So that's generally one of the goals we have in online classes, is to make it feel like a class. That's why we have students go through week by week and do the same thing and engage in the same discussions, and you give them feedback on their assignments every week. So there is a person behind the screen. So if the reason to have an intro video is to show that there is a person facilitating, instructing the course, so what should be in an intro video? The main thing is to give them a feel for who is behind the course. So, and it's information best conveyed through video. So think of the types of information that you want to give in an orientation, right? You want to give the class schedule, you want to give the grades and all that other stuff. Is that information best conveyed through a video? Not really. It's best conveyed through text, through a syllabus. So what you don't want your intro to video to be is you reading out your syllabus, or talking about in week 1 we're going to do this, and then we'll do this, and then we'll have the assignments, and that's going to bore your students, and it's not a good reference. You know, if they want to know that, they'll look at the syllabus. So what information is best conveyed through video? Well, information of, emotional information, who you are, what your attitude is, what you're like as a person, what your connection is to the material. So generally we try to say, introduce who you are and what your background is, and what is your personal connection to the material. Why are you a person that is interested and excited about the stuff you're teaching? Because your students don't want someone who's like, well, I have to teach this, I don't really like this subject, I don't care about this subject. That's not particularly encouraging for students. So give them information of, oh, I'm really interested, I've done this, I've done that, I love this specific topic especially that we're going to cover, etc. So some sort of personality and your specific connection to the material. And so now that we've talked a little bit about what you should say in your video or what content you should have, Andrew's going to talk about how you should set up your video.
All right, so when you're shooting your own video, I don't think anyone expects it to be like a Hollywood level production. But there are a few things you can keep in mind while you're shooting to kind of give yourself the best chance of having a good video. And so one of the main things you could be thinking about is the lighting. So what is the light doing? How is it affecting your face in the shot? So one of the things you should be looking for is the direction of the light relative to your face. So you want it to be hitting your face rather than, you know, the light bouncing off of something else and then hitting your face. So, and if you can, and this should be natural for whatever room you're in, if you can have the light above eye level or at eye level, that would be best. So this is more a consideration if you are bringing in like a lamp or some other kind of light that you're manipulating other than just existing light. That would be, you know, just keep in mind having it above eye level, because you're used to seeing lights above eye level. That's just natural. You know, we have the lights in the building, we have the sun. Those are all lights that come down, and then the way those cast shadows on your face, it's just kind of, your brain is just kind of used to it by now. So that's just something to keep in mind.
There's a reason people point flashlights up at their face when telling scary stories.
Right. It's just your brain is just not used to seeing that, so it's just a very odd effect. So facing the light. So what happens when you don't face the light? Well, your face just naturally is not going to look as good, but aside from that, the camera is not going to know what to do when you're using your phone or any other camera that's set to like an automatic exposure setting. So it sees this super bright stuff in the background, but then most phones also have some kind of face detection, so it knows this is a face, so it's trying to compensate for it, and it just can't because the lighting differences are too extreme. So make sure you're facing the light. That is number one. If you do that, you're doing so well if you're already. So you don't have any questions about that? Okay. Face the light. Go into the light. Yeah. Having the camera at eye level. Okay, so most conversations when you're talking with someone else, it's going to be at about eye level. You know, average height is the average height. So it's not typical that you would be speaking to someone who's just way taller or way shorter, which in person is totally fine, but when you're communicating through video, you want to have the camera at eye level. So what happens when it's not eye level? You can see I have the camera here, it's above eye level, and it seems kind of odd, like I'm kind of down there. Or now I'm a giant, which is not true. So having the camera at eye level, have the light face you, have the camera at eye level, you do those two things, then you're just doing so well. The framing of the camera, where are you positioned in the camera shot? So this too low, this too high. In video we call this headroom. So it's the distance between the top of your head and the top of the shot. So there is just way too much headroom up here, and there is just not enough headroom there, because you can't even see my whole head. What you should strive for, if you want to get technical, is the rule of thirds. So if you can imagine any frame being divided up into thirds, so if you drew a line there and there, you would kind of want your eyes aligned with the top third of the image. So that's another good tip, and you'll get bonus points with any photographer if you know the rule of thirds. It's not, that part is not the most crucial as long as you can see, you know, your whole face and any part of your torso that you want to see, but it is a nice like shortcut to having a good looking image. So you do those three things: face the light, have the camera at eye level, and have yourself framed, you know, decently within the shot, then visually you should be doing really well. Does anyone have any questions before I move on about the visuals? because now we're going to move on to the audio for our audio visual, the sound. When you're shooting your own video, there's one key thing that I would advise you to look out for, and it's worth mentioning because you don't think about it on a daily basis, and that is just ambient noise. So how echoey is a room? Is the air conditioner on? Is the refrigerator on? Because what I was talking about with how your brain is just familiar with how light is typically cast on people's face, well, your brain also filters out a lot of noise that your ears pick up, but your brain just knows, like, well, that's not a useful sound, so I'll just filter that out. But the camera and the microphone does not filter that sound out. It hears everything. So when you're about to film, I would say really take a minute and just take a moment of silence, really, and listen and see. So we can hear there's air conditioning. We have, chips and everything, which is fine, because we're not trying to shoot a video in here, but that is something you would want to consider when you're trying to think of a room that you think would be best for shooting a video. I have another video here. Okay, so now might not be the best time to record audio because there's a train. Yeah. So that's actually something we had to take into consideration at our old studio, is that we could hear that train even when we were inside, even through multiple walls. So maybe you would need to consider things that you might be able to hear inside the building and things you might hear outside the building. So if someone's mowing the lawn or something like that, that might be something you want to take into consideration before you start shooting your video. And so those are the main technical tips I have. If anyone has any questions. Yes?
So are you just no longer at that other location on Ayers?
We are not. We've switched places with iLED.
Which is where?
They are at that same, that 14 and 16 East Ayers. That's where we were, and they were over here, and so we've swapped, and so now they're over there.
Now
We're over
you're
here. Yep. Happy to be here. All right.
Okay, so if you don't know, and a lot of people don't know about that, you have your own UCO streaming media account. So everybody has one. So if you haven't gone to streaming.uco.edu, check it out. Sometimes we call it Kaltura just because that's the video hosting service that's behind the UCO streaming service. That's the technical part of it. But you've probably seen the D2L My Media. That's where all that stuff is hosted. So, and if you make an intro video, if you make any sort of video, it's usually best to put it up there because it will stay there and you won't have to dig around in your computer for it if you ever need it again. And it is completely integrated within D2L. So you can just click the insert button and go to My Media and it's right there. So just check it out if you haven't. And if you have, great. So this is where the preferred area. Now you can do whatever you want with it, but this is just an easy way to store all of your multimedia for all of your classes, especially if you want to put them in more than one class.
I'm sorry, I'm slow. So it's streaming.edu.uco.
Streaming.uco.edu.
Thank you.
And you say the accounts are already made, or do we have to go?
Yeah, if you have a UCO Uconnect account, you already have a streaming account. So just go in and log in with your UCO credentials.
Can you access that through your course where it says My Media?
Yeah, so the
Yes.
My Media will show you everything that is in your account, yeah,
Okay.
in that account. It's just, the website it's a bit easier to manipulate and upload and tag stuff there than it is through D2L. So it's a bit clunky doing it through the My Media and D2L. It's just a bit easier to go to the site itself and upload stuff.
And those are shared accounts. So anything you upload on streaming.uco.edu shows up in your My Media in D2L and vice versa. So if it's easy, like I said, if it's easier for you, you can manage all that stuff, and then it's just in your My Media pool in D2L.
Is it searchable? Like if someone was just searching for a random video of something, could they find my video I posted?
There's different like permissions you can set on the video. So when you upload it, by default, I believe it's either set to private or unlisted. Private means no one can see, only you can see it. Unlisted means that you could share the link, and if someone has the actual link, then they can see it, but they can't search for it. By default, it's either one of those two. And then there's a public. So if you are on streaming.uco.edu, I believe you could search for it if it was set to public. But by default, no one should be able to, just look through your videos unless you want them to. So,
Thank you.
yeah. So, there is one tool that if you have an iPhone or an iPad that you may not know that you already have access to this tool. And I will hook that up right now. So you can actually, in addition to being able to shoot video on your iPhone and iPad, you can also screen capture on the iPhone and iPad. So if you had, if you were wanting to make a video where you are lecturing over some notes that you've created, or there's a specific app that you want to make a video over, or if you have some kind of presentation, whether it be through like Google Slides or I assume there's a PowerPoint app, you could just kind of give your presentation that way and create a video over it. And so, that doesn't show up when I do that. Mission control, when you double tap the home button, it kind of brings up this menu that shows your recently used apps, and it has some controls here. Well, there's a button that's not there by default, so we need to go in and enable that. I don't think it shows the settings either. Or just disconnect.
What's the name of the button we're trying to enable?
Great question. I will.
The little round.
There we go. There we go. The little round button. That's right. So in your settings on your Apple device, if you go to Control Center there and hit Customize Controls, there are different things you can add. So you could add a stopwatch or a shortcut to changing the text size, but what we want is this screen recording. So you just hit the green plus by that, and now it's added to these options that will show up on Control Center. So now, when we double tap the home button, we have this icon.
It's grayed out for some reason.
It's not having a good time. I wonder if I can't do that while I'm mirroring. There we go. Okay, so it won't let me do it while I'm displaying it to the TV, so I'll just show you. Now you can hit this button and it starts a 3-second timer. And now you can see it's recording, and you can actually see it turns the status bar red at the top. And so now you could go through, and if you had a document that you wanted to give notes over, you could do that. You could do anything you want to do on your iPad and you just want to show it to someone else, you could screen record that way. And if you open Control Center back up and tap it again, it will stop the recording. If you hold down the button, you can actually choose to enable or disable the built-in microphone. So now, when the microphone is enabled, I can be dictating, what I'm doing, and that will record that audio track into the recording. So where do those videos go? That's a good question.
So how did you do the microphone again? You double tapped?
So when you just hold it down for a second, and then you get these extra settings, and there's a little microphone button that you can tap, and it'll say microphone audio off by default. You can tap it and it turns red and it says microphone audio on. You know, some people might, if you're not dictating while you're, recording the video, you might rather have it off because otherwise it's just recording, whatever else is going on. So. All right, is everyone, did I lose anyone on that? Are we all good? So, when you open up your camera app, because we want to do things with this file now, when you open up your camera app and click on your camera roll, so this is pictures and video that you've taken with your camera. This is the only video I have on here. I can actually mirror this now. There we go. So I'm in my camera roll and I've got this file. What is that? So I can click, there's an edit button. If the video is ready to go, you can just share it the same way you would a typical video or a photo. But say if you want to trim off the beginning and end because you don't want it to see you like opening the app and everything like that. If you hit edit on the video, it's on the top right, there's a button that says edit. Now you're presented with this view where it has the video and there's a little timeline of the video on the bottom. And so you can scrub through, but you can also grab these edges. You can kind of see it there on the bottom. You can grab these edges and change where the video starts. So you can change where it starts, and then if you do the same thing on the right, you can change where the video ends. Then if you like the changes that you've made, you can hit done at the bottom right and hit save as new clip. And so this doesn't overwrite the first file, it creates a second file that's includes the changes that you've made. Everyone good on that? And then you could transfer this to your computer however you want. Some people have it set up to where you can plug in the USB into your device and transfer it that way. You could transfer it through Google Drive or Microsoft OneDrive or any other cloud service. If it's small enough, you could email it to yourself. But it could be that the simplest way for you is to just log into D2L directly on the whichever device you're using, and you can upload it directly from the device exactly the same way you would on the computer. So.
And you can do the same thing through the streaming.uco.edu. When you upload a video from an iPad or iPhone, you will have the option to pick a video from your device. So you can do that too.
Yeah, it actually
Straight to Kaltura from your iPad.
Yep.
Yeah, it actually looks the web browser looks the exact same as when you're using it on your computer. So you would do, up on the bottom top right of streaming.uco.edu, you would do upload new media, and then it would have a pop-up on here, and it would open up the camera roll, and you can select which video you want to upload.
Can you do that with screenshots on your computer?
Like,
Say you were doing something, you went to a program and started working something out on your computer, can you?
do the video
record that?
capture?
Yeah.
So Kaltura does have a tool for that, Capture Space Lite, and we have a tutorial for that that we could send out the link if anyone's interested in that. We don't have that ready to present today, but we do have a tutorial for that. So
It's called what?
Capture Space Lite, L-I-T-E. And really, I mean, if you already have a tool that you use for screen recording on your computer, you could just use that and then upload it normally. But we do have a tutorial for a program specifically for Kaltura. But. All right. Switch this over, but if we're ready to move on, we can talk about captioning. So accessibility for your videos, because that's really important. It is required, but it's also just important in general. So if you're in the design process, and you are dealing with, Bill or I, and we've shot a video for you, such as the videos we're gonna shoot later, the welcome videos that we'll shoot after this, then that's just part of my process. I submit it for captioning, it gets captioned, and then it actually gets reassigned to your My Media pool on Kaltura. So if there's any video that you shoot with us here at the studio, you don't have to worry about the captioning, we take care of that. If it's a video you're shooting on your own, there is a form, it's the same form that I fill out, and you could fill that out, or if you're not comfortable filling it out, possibly your designer could help you fill it out, or Steph, she's our accessibility guru, she could help you fill it out. But it's not terribly complicated.
Just contact anyone here and we'll find the right person.
Yeah, we'll take care of it. And we could also send that link out as well with the Capture Space tutorial video.
And so what the end result of the captioning is a UCO branded video player. They give you an embed. The end result is an embed code that you can insert. So whenever you're in D2L, you insert stuff. One of the options is embed code. You copy and paste that embed code, and that streams from your My Media account, but it overlays a UCO branded video player, and below it is a text box that has the transcript of the video. But the transcript follows along. The current word being said in the video is highlighted in the text box. So the highlighted word goes along with the video.
So that is all we have. If anyone has any questions.
Is the My Media account the same as the streaming